Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined today by Mrs. May. Hello there.
Hi.
I'm super excited to speak with you today and hear your story. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm excited too.
Awesome. Can you give me a little background about what was going on in your life before you decided to start a preschool?
Absolutely. So I actually have a pre-K through second grade academy.
Oh,
So
perfect. All right.
yes, so I I have I have a little bit more than a preschool, but I absolutely
Mhm.
love it. So I'm very excited because I just see like Joy and the All Stars and the book. I don't know if this book right here, like, it's just such confirmation, right? Because I started out in enrichment, so I wasn't a preschool teacher, but I just fell in love with early childhood, and so I went and got became a certified childhood educator, and then I started to do enrichment classes. So I started off at Mommy and Me. So Mommy and Me, like, is always
Nice.
gonna have
I
my
love
heart.
mommy and me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my heart. That's my foundation. I
Mhm.
absolutely love it. And my first set of children, they were toddlers. Then my second set was infants. So I actually didn't get to work with preschoolers until I started working for a preschool. But I only worked there a short amount of time. And so through the years, I've worked in after school programs. I've also worked in out of community centers doing these programs. And so when I saw Joy's ad on Facebook, I was like, you know what really caught me was the online portion,
Mhm.
right? Because I had seen Joy's ads before,
Right.
but this one I didn't know people would, could, the the time that we're living in has changed the mindsets of people. And I'm like, I didn't think anyone was gonna want online classes for their kids, but they do now.
They
So
do. They certainly do.
they do. And what I found out is that because my program is specifically geared towards homeschoolers. And
Mhm.
so what I found out that in the homeschool community, they've been taking online classes for years.
Mm.
This is nothing new to them. It's not something that caught them off guard. They have been taking online classes for years now.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, since I am I'm a newbie homeschooler, but not necessarily.
Mhm.
This is our second year, but I've
Okay.
wanted to do it for 9.5 years.
Okay.
So
What kept you
I've
from
been
doing it before?
what kept me from doing it before was that I was scared. Absolutely. I was scared. And even though I had all the information, like I had been to the co-ops, I have more than a dozen friends who are longtime homeschoolers. My two
Mhm.
best friends have homeschooled for over 15 years. I was just freaking out because a lot of times we think that homeschooling is super expensive, or that we're not going to have time for ourselves as moms, to
Mhm.
self-care and things like that. So
Yeah.
I was just like, no. But when the pandemic came about, I just realized that, you know what, it's time, because
Mhm.
I like to teach my kids a certain way, and instead of me worrying, I need to take that leap of faith. And so
Yeah.
I
How many
didn't
kids
I
do you
didn't
have?
I have three girls,
Okay.
14, 8, and 6.
Okay. And what did they think about it? Were they excited to do the homeschooling?
They were. So my 8-year-old, who was 7 at the time, she actually asked, can she be homeschooled?
Okay.
They don't want to go back to school. I offered my ninth grader, I said, if you want to go back to school, because she had been in public schooling for so long, I said, if
Mhm.
this is what feels good for you, you can go back.
Mhm.
But she's like, no, no thanks. So
Well, then you're doing a
yeah,
good job, mama.
I hope so. I hope so.
Awesome. Okay. So you got to homeschool,
Mhm.
and that was a 9-year dream that you just took the leap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't teach anyone else's kids during that time.
Okay.
Even though people had asked me, like, they're all like, if you ever homeschool, we want to send our kids to you. Are you open to school? Everyone would encourage me to do it. They're like, oh, you can do it out of your house. I'm like, no, I can't. No, thank you. But they were encouraging me. And so I spent that first year of homeschooling, which was last year, just really focusing on my kids.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay, afterwards, then I'll see what my options are. And then in this, was it in December? No, in November, saw the ad, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's time. And I was looking into Outschool as well. And so I started without school and with the preschool system at the same time.
Okay.
So yeah, my days were just studying, studying, studying,
Mm-hmm.
reading, and listening to podcasts, listening to videos,
Yep.
and that was my life for about 3 months. And then I jumped into like actually setting everything up.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So how long ago did you decide to actually do that? To
That was
actually
in
start that?
so that was in November.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Cool.
November 2020, and then I just kind of jumped in. I wanted to start in January when it became open, but I
Mhm.
was a little reluctant, and then I was like, well, what am I waiting for? Because then I got locked out, right? So in January when it opened, when All Stars opened, I was locked out because I was hesitant. I waited, and
Why do
then
you think you were so hesitant? What was it? Was it not believing in yourself or not believing in the system or what was it?
what was it? I think it was a combination of both. And I knew that it would, well, not necessarily. I think it was an investment,
Right.
and so I'm like, this is an investment,
Yeah.
right? And if
Scary.
I'm
Yeah.
going, it's scary. And if I'm going to do it, then if I'm going to touch something, I have to do it with 100%.
Yeah.
But when April came, I was counting down the days. I'm like, it's a go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a question then in April. And
Uh-huh.
so I joined in April with an amazing group of women. And I just cannot say enough about the preschool all stars like group. It is such an answer prayer. It is everything that I could have ever asked for. I have never been in such I've been around entrepreneurs. I've been around preschool teachers. Um, but this is something different. We
Hmm.
all have a common mindset, and to have that many women, to have that many moms and entrepreneurs in one place, it is definitely an amazing anomaly. It,
Yeah.
there's, I've just never seen anything like it. I love it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's an
Yeah,
awesome community of like-minded individuals who all have a lot of stuff to bring to the table.
yeah. The creativity is
Hmm.
is just unmatched. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. All right. So now I want to hear all about your pre-K through second grade program. When did you start? How did you start? How's it work? I need all the deets.
Oh, all the details.
All the
So,
deets.
the name of my academy is Kogomi Academy.
Okay.
It is a section of Kogomi Learning, and so um, Kogomi Learning does a lot. We provide educational resources and also classes through Kogomi Academy. So I just jumped right in. I knew that I'm certified for early childhood. That is birth through 8 years old,
Hmm.
and so why not do what I know? Why not start out with what I know? Of course, I homeschooled my eighth grader, so I
Right.
could technically go up to eighth grade. But
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I want to perfect this.
Hmm.
So I have this plan in place where I'm going to perfect this for the next 2 years, and then I'll be adding third grade unless God says sooner. But I'm, you know, hopefully not, because I want to perfect it and I want to work out the kinks and things like that. But if he
Okay, wait,
does, I'm
hold on.
okay with it.
Rewind. So you have Kagome Learning, what
Kogomi Creative Learning. So that's
Creative
the
Learning.
company. Yeah,
That's the whole company. Okay. And then your school is a subset of that?
it is. So the
Okay.
academy is a homeschool enrichment program.
Okay.
And then Kogomi Creative Learning offers the academy, the educational resources, the teacher resources. There's a lot of extensions of
Okay.
what, yeah, that
Interesting.
that
I'm
that
interested
company
to
is.
hear what kind of teacher resources. So you train other teachers too?
No, actually, I
Ooh,
provide the resources for them. So I create things because I'm
okay.
also a graphic designer.
Oh
So
man, that's a great combination.
I, and that's why, like, I knew that was my moment.
Yeah.
Um, what do they call it? Kairos moments. Like when I saw Joy's ad, I'm like, this is it. Because
Yeah.
all of my gifts and talents and things that I have been doing for years have
Mm-hmm.
led up to like this moment. And I'm like, okay, this is where I know I am supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, because I
Totally.
love helping families and
Mm-hmm.
I love also creating, resources. And now with having classes, I get to create those individualized learning plans for
Yeah.
their children who are learning on different levels.
Oh, I love
So
it.
it just everything just all comes together in this beautiful dish. And so yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if you saw the calendar that I created, the annual academic calendar.
I
And
didn't
Preschool
know.
All Stars, oh my goodness, yes, I
Well,
saw.
now I'm gonna go
Uh,
look.
yeah, so I created that, and so a lot of the Preschool All Stars, it was able to help them to start their school year right, and then like other things like all the I don't know like this. I did this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a phonics folder that I did for my first graders. Um, so much like I did the colors in Spanish, and so so the teachers will have an easier time doing their billboards, and I
Oh,
just
that's
like to
awesome.
create things. So
So have you sold stuff on like Teacher Pay Teachers?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I just started. So in the midst of, and I've wanted to do this for years. So it's so funny because like all of these things are happening at one time. And
Mm-hmm.
we have dreams and we have desires and we'll sit with them for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm just like, all bets are off. Why hold back?
Yeah.
I don't fear like I know what fear does. I know
Yeah.
how if I operate out of fear, what that's gonna get me. So I'm just like, no, like I'm just gonna make the resources. So
Mm-hmm.
I did start a Teachers Pay Teachers, started an Etsy shop, started my
Yes.
out school classes, and then started my
Yes.
own. Like this is what I've been doing since November 2020, and the encouragement from Joy is just amazing because I don't know what other people hear because you know how you can hear one thing once someone can be speaking, but then it translates to 10 different messages to 10 different
Mm-hmm.
people. But it's so encouraging because she's so transparent and because she shares her own personal experiences. So I'm like, wow, like this is what I needed. And so in those moments where I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue, then Joy would come out with a motivational Monday. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. And
Mm-hmm.
if she can keep going, I can keep going. And if this all star can keep going, I can keep going. And we got to keep going. And
Yeah.
so the 7-day challenge was also super awesome because we got to break down what was it called? Like your why, but in 7 different levels, 7 levels deep. And so I'm like, every time I want to give up, I'm like, I have to remember why I started in the first place.
Right.
And Joy often says, like, if your why is strong enough, then you can always come back to that. And I'm like, my why is solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just keep on going. And so I'm a very like feely, sensitive person, which most women are. But this process has just been so intricate in me learning how to go past my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So the days that I don't want to work or the days that I'm not feeling, into it or the days that those dopamine levels aren't that high, I just keep going anyway. I might
Mm-hmm.
go slow, but those feelings are gonna pass. And so that's what Joy and the All Stars have been so intricate in my life to help me do what I love. And I just it's so awesome. I'm in love with it.
I love it. You've done so much. I love hearing the different ways that the all stars come up with to do
Yeah.
new things. That's so cool because it's not just a preschool. You have a whole like so many resources for families, and you're
Yeah.
not just doing pre-K. You're doing all the way up to second grade, and who knows where this company could go. That's so
Yeah.
it's so awesome.
I plan to add third grade in 2 years, and then so
Yeah.
that way the kids can continue to go. But so far, I've heard wonderful feedback. We just finished our first week, by the way.
Yay! Congrats.
Thank you. And I just heard amazing feedback from the parents. Um, Everything has just fallen in place. And it's just, it's also helped me to like stop second guessing myself and to
Mm-hmm.
know that what I'm putting out, I'm good enough and everything that I produce is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I was one of those people that I like, and I overproduce anyway, but I'm like, oh, is that good enough? Is that good enough?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's good enough. And each day the parents are like, oh, the kids are telling me this, and they told me to call the teacher because I don't know what I'm doing. Just like, I had a parent who was like, yeah, he just told me I should ask the teacher because I don't know what I'm doing. And so she messaged me, and I'm like, no, he's right. He's not supposed to be doing that. And he's
That's
he's four
awesome.
years old, so that
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, yeah, he's super intelligent. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to just help these families because all of my families They are full-time working families, but they
Okay.
want to homeschool their children. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is like the perfect option
Yeah.
for doing that, because things aren't like people think they are.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, people didn't know that, okay, no, you can work full-time and homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad to fill in that gap. I'm glad to be someone that they trust.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of the dads, he was wrote on Facebook that I am so trustworthy, and that their child is enjoying my curriculum, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Oh, that's so nice to hear when I love those good great reviews.
It is, and I'm so, and I didn't even like think, and then I just saw a tag popped up, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
look at that, I'm leaving, like, these people are very affected by the services that I'm providing, and so
Yeah.
I'm very thankful, because I just want to help families. I also want to stay home with my girls,
Right.
and so I've been a stay-at-home mama since my first is born, and everything that I've done has always been to stay home with them
Mm-hmm.
and to
Mm-hmm.
give them the life that I think they should have. And
Yeah.
so it's a win-win, because I get to stay home, but I also get to do what I love, and then I
Mm-hmm.
also get to affect families all across the country. So it's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that sounds perfect. I mean, it's working out perfect. So tell me how your
It is.
classes run.
So right now, I have pre-K through second grade. The What's so cool is that I have pre-K. I have 3 students in pre-K,
Okay.
and then I have 3 students plus my daughter in first grade. So I
Okay.
don't have any kindergartners, and I don't have any second graders. But it's so perfect, because this gives me an opportunity to perfect those classes. And since I have them spaced out back to back,
Mm-hmm.
when you say perfect, you have no idea. It just works out so perfectly, and I'm so grateful. I mean, what more could I ask for? So, in our pre-K class, those students are learning their alphabets,
Mm-hmm.
and they got all of their curriculum up to December, so their parents are excited. And
Nice.
then the first graders, each one is on a different level, but each child is getting what they need. And even this week, I saw that, okay, this is working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's so beautiful to see it, and they are eager to read.
Nice.
So I get to teach them to read from the foundation up, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
this
Super
is gonna be
cool.
awesome, because yeah, and they're welcome kits. They got, like, I sent books, I sent all kinds of stuff. So
Uh-huh.
it was just such a blessing to the families.
That's awesome. It's really cool that you get to see them progress like that because normally you don't. You teach pre-K and you teach them the foundations and then you let
And
them
I know.
fly and learn to read. Or like I taught first grade and I was trying to teach them how to read and so many of them didn't have the foundation. So it was really hard. You know, now you get to set the foundation and teach them how to read. You get to see that's really cool. How long are your
I'm excited.
classes and how
So the
often?
classes, so the classes right now, I'm fine tuning the time, because I do teach according to, I have to fill the kids out. So I
Hmm.
teach according to what they need. But um the classes started at 30 minutes.
Okay.
So ideally the pre-K is going to be 45 minutes, and then the first grade will be an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And it
Okay.
goes super fast, because I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be long,
Yeah.
and then you look at the clock and you're like, oh,
Hmm.
we're finished already. So 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes is what I'm aiming for.
And for the first graders, are you doing reading and math?
So no, for
Oh.
first, so for kindergarten, first and second, the way I've set it up is that they do all their core classes basically with me, and so their parents, can go get, like, music and art and other things that they may want to add on to enrich that child's homeschool experience. So I offer math, ELA, writing and reading together,
Okay.
science, and social studies.
Nice.
So all the core, and it's 4 days a week. And for the pre-K, it's 3 days a week, but kindergarten through second grade is 4 days a week.
Awesome. So in one class, do you get through all those subjects or do you do one subject a day or how do you do it?
No, so what I do is I try to, and I don't have anything here with me to show you, but I try to basically take one activity and include everything in it. So if
Okay.
we're working on math, I pull in the reading with word problems. I
Perfect. Yeah.
pull in their writing, because
Mhm.
they have to write their letters,
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can't pull science at this age into math. But I try to basically make each of the lessons multi-skill lessons.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
when we're doing social studies, we're also working on ELA, and we're working on reading, and we're working on
Mhm.
our phonics because we have things to write about. We're studying civics, and we're studying
Mhm.
government and different things like that at their age level, but they have to write.
Yeah, perfect. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Integrate it
Hmm.
all, cram it all in there. So they're
Exactly.
utilizing all those skills at once. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so
Awesome.
science, we just did science, and science we included like math because they're looking at what time the sun sets and what
Mhm.
time it rises and
Yeah.
the changing of seasons. So we
Mhm.
got science and we got math there.
Yeah.
So I just try to get as much into a lesson as I possibly can.
Perfect. And how much do you charge?
So for my preschoolers, it's $87 a month,
Okay.
and for my kindergartners, it is 117 a month. For first grade, 137 a month, and then for second grade, 157 a month.
Okay. So super, super affordable.
Yeah, so yes, definitely very, very affordable
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I
And
wanted to make it easy as possible, on the
yeah.
parents. Yeah.
And then do you charge extra for like the welcome kits or is that included?
No, the welcome kits are included. I um do a annual registration fee,
Mm-hmm.
and the annual registration fee is 1 month of tuition.
Okay.
Well, it's 2 months of tuition, so that's the
Okay.
annual registration fee.
Okay. And then so you have your classes and then do they use or do you have like the parents of the students in your classes also buying your resources for to work with at home?
Nope, all of it's free for them.
Oh, all of
Yeah.
it's free for them.
Everything. Not only do they get all the resources that I create for free, but then they also get our extracurricular programs for free.
Girl,
So
you need to
where
raise your prices. Man, you're offering a lot.
I definitely am offering a lot. I just had one of the moms message me this morning because she's like, "Is today Enrichment Day?" And I'm like, "No, it's gonna start in October because we have clubs. So we have a gaming club, we have
Oh
a book
man.
club, bookworm book club. We also have a princess book club because I'm a girl mama and
Mhm.
hello, it just seemed right. So we got a princess book club, and then there's the creative mess club, and so that's where I created my mud lab because I'm all into creative messes. Slime is my jam.
Yeah.
I like to get like playing mud and experiment with things. So
Yeah.
I created those to be done on a Saturday. So we do one Saturday a month
Okay.
with the clubs and extracurricular programs, and that way the parents they can clean, they can do their thing, but the kids are entertained, and we go from one to the next. So if a kid doesn't want to do that, it's all optional, but for
Okay.
them it is free.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then do you offer the just those separate for other people who don't do it during the week?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if they wanted to test the waters, to see how a class is, they can definitely come on Saturday and check it out. And then I believe all the clubs are like $5, so it's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, they're $5, and they get to play Roblox with Mrs. May, uh, because like I've learned a lot over there.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, never wanted to learn that, but my girls are into it. And so a lot of kids, they love Roblox.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
next on my list is Minecraft. I'm like,
Mm,
okay. And then I have Sonic on the list. So Mrs. May is going to be diving into lots
nice.
of gaming.
That's
Yeah.
fun. That's fun to get into fun stuff with him too.
And the kids, they love that.
Yeah.
And then there's that reading, like book club. So they have another opportunity to read outside of being with
Mhm.
their parents and outside of
Yeah.
being like in a class setting where it's just fun reading. We might do silly stories or stories that's pertaining to the changes of holidays and things like that. So the parents are so excited they can't wait. They're like, "Is it today?"
That's so great. So are all of your families local to you or are they spread out
They
across the
they
country?
are not. They
Nice.
are not, which is like shocking because I was like, okay, I'm gonna have local people, but no, I don't. So I have families in New York,
Nice.
Illinois, Texas, and Iowa so far,
And where are you?
and I'm in Florida.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. So
I'm
you
in
have no one from Florida? Everyone is that's so funny.
my daughter.
Right, right.
But no one from Florida just yet. Now I did have um a student over the summer for tutoring.
Okay.
So I do I didn't mean that. Scratch that. I provide
Yep.
the reading and the math enrichment. And what's so cool is that we focus on fluency, we focus on them increasing their reading skills, their reading level, and now I've just included phonics.
Nice.
So that way I get to build because
Yeah.
you got to have that phonological foundation to
The
build
phonemic
upon. So
awareness with the phonics is that's what it's all about.
yeah, and so I'm like, yeah, I get to create these. And what's so cool is that the student that I had over the summer, his mom was actually concerned about his comprehension. But what we found out is that he comprehends extremely well, and he's a very very good reader. The thing is that multiple choice questions
Mm,
was tripping him up. So
okay.
he was reading so fast and trying to answer beforehand that with the multiple choice questions because his comprehension is great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the multiple choice. So we worked on that and we're able to
Nice.
slow him down a little bit to think and look
Yeah.
through each of the answers. So I'm excited for her to give me his first grade from public school when they do the
Yeah.
BAS testing.
Are you still doing tutoring too?
So I am. It is out there. It's local, and so well, I'm doing not only local but nationwide. But I'm not promoting it as heavily. But it's so funny because someone just reached out to me yesterday, and I'm like, all right, I guess it's time to restart again.
That was going to be my next question is how are you promoting? How are you getting these people from across the country?
So to my surprise, it was Facebook because
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's always
it was
Facebook, man. Facebook
you
is
know,
yeah.
and I don't like
Yeah.
posting on social media,
Yeah.
but I do it often.
Uh-huh.
So that just is another that just goes to show you like how we can disconnect what we feel like doing versus from the things
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do. Certain
Yep.
things just need to be done. And
Totally.
so yeah, that's how the woman contacted me from New York and from Texas, and then my Facebook friends they knew people, and so I'm just like, "Oh wow, this is Facebook is the spot."
It is. It is. Yeah. Totally. I have a keeping my business Facebook page like updated
Mhm,
with pictures and stuff. That's a thing that
mhm,
I don't know why I dread doing it. Like I have great pictures of
mhm.
the kids and I just it's just like one thing that I just like don't feel like doing and I'm like, oh, I got to keep up with the social media posts because that's like the biggest thing. Like once I'm full, like once I've
Yeah,
when I need to fill spots, I can go on and hustle. But then once I'm full, it's like an afterthought for me. And I'm like, no, I need to keep
exactly.
these things up to show what we're doing. And yeah, I totally get it. Have you thought about like hiring someone else to even expand your program? Is that something you would look into doing, or are you?
So absolutely, I want to work myself out of a job. Yes,
Yeah.
so it's what I'm creating. Like I'm keeping, I keep my recordings because those are training recordings.
Yep.
Because I'm going to hire people to do it. I love, love, love to teach.
Hmm.
But I can serve more families if I hire out, I hire more teachers. So
Teachers. Yeah.
the plan is that once I get to 40 students,
Okay.
that'll mean each class is full.
Okay.
Then I'll hire someone.
Nice. Nice. And then, so do you market yourself as like kind of like I don't know, like an instructional coach or a curriculum developer? Do you use any of these terms in
You
for
know
your
what? I have not used any of those yet.
They sound fancy, don't they?
They really do
That's
sound
pretty much
so
what
so
you're
so
doing,
fancy.
when you talk about creating videos and using them as training or
Mhm.
creating, worksheets and everything, that's curriculum development.
It is, and I've been like a little. It's so funny because I'm developing this zoology curriculum for
There you
pre-K, and
go.
so they're the first ones that are going through it, and so I'm
Uh-huh.
working out the little kinks and adding little special things in it right now, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know when it'll be official, because I've made curriculum for years for my daughter
Hmm.
and for my first one, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll feel official enough to say that.
I mean, there's always, the homeschool groups. There's so many homeschool groups, and getting in with them and, showing them your curriculum and, even showing them videos of you teaching it or whatever. Like, I feel like getting into the homeschool groups and then getting them to use your curriculum, that would be a great segment into curriculum development.
I think that would be totally awesome. My
Yeah.
co-op actually asked me to teach. So I'm like,
There you go.
that's cool.
Talk to them about curriculum development.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll use that title though. I guess I should.
What you're
because I've been
doing.
doing it long enough.
Yeah, you got it. Don't be afraid to give yourself the title that you deserve. You got a lot of titles and you should be using them because you're doing a lot of stuff.
You are right about that. I guess that's the area where I'm like,
get your confidence up, girl. You're doing it.
I am doing it. I'm just like, and see, this is why I love the All Stars, because of stuff like this.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna roll with that. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm gonna do it.
Do it. Yes, you are a curriculum developer.
I am
things and a business owner, and you're doing amazing at them. Don't be afraid to own that title.
I'm gonna own it. I'm just gonna do what you said. After this, I'm going to go on I might change my TikTok to like curriculum developer.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Awesome. Well, Ms. May, thank you so much for talking with me, and you have so much going on, and I love it. And I can't wait to hear even more and maybe get some of that curriculum that you're developing, because I'm always looking for new curriculum. And I'm sure
very
have,
welcome.
even posted it in the All Stars. I'm sure you have many ladies who are looking to expand their curriculum and stuff. So you already have people who trust you and people who are looking for that right there in the All Star community.
Yeah, very, very supportive women. So grateful for each and every last one of you guys, because I pull from everyone, and I'm like, this is just a great environment. It's just, Joy has created something that the world needs and that it was lacking, and I just don't think there'll ever be anything else like this ever again.
Totally. Yeah. It's awesome.
It's the spot for sure.
Yeah. It's where all the cool kids go.
That's right. The Cool Kids Club.
Oh, I had so much fun talking with you, Ms. May. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best of luck. I can't wait to hear what happens next for you.
Me either. Thank you so much.
If you'd like to have a success story just like that one, I invite you to join our Preschool All-Stars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools, and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool All-Stars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.